All right, welcome to Dynasty, the podcast show. I am your host, Ira Thomas Bush the Fourth, and I appreciate y'all tuning in to my show. I just want to say, man, I appreciate everybody who at least give the effort to pay attention or listen to some of my shows. I know it takes a lot of attention, and I try to get as much details and facts to everybody when I do my show. So today's not going to be one of those shows. I like to highlight a lot of the stuff when I do my titles of my shows is based off the mood I'm in. I probably said it a few of my episodes, but today I usually highlight it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. I haven't been highlighting it recently because that's not the focus of what I'm on right now. But the focus, sorry for the noise in the background. That usually happens when people want to be included. But the title of the show is Non-Folly Vision. So non-stupid vision. That's what it really means. And I thought it was funny more than just using a different word for saying stupid is or stupidity. I thought that was cool, and I'm very good. Like I used to be more in tune with like wordsmith type stuff in school. I was very, that was something that attracted my interest when I was younger. So I'm trying to get back in that mode where I'm going to, eventually write my poem book or, go into more depths of getting back into writing. I do a little writing, but it's more based off my podcast and preparing for my podcast. And, when I thought about it, I'm not trying to outdo anybody. I'm not trying to get attention right now because I'm not at my peak when it comes to even my look or even my brand. How I want to display myself is going to be so grand and great and so effortless. This is the prep for it. Me speaking is the prep for how I'm going to present myself and present my brand in a complete package. So yeah, and it's coming sooner than you think. I'm glad it's like just being in this area. It's fast tracked me to really working on stuff. And it's nobody in my way. The only thing that could get in my way is falling back into bad habits. And we talk about bad habits and being consistent all the time. And I'm not, I'm not ashamed of what's some of the stuff I do might not even be considered bad habits. It just will delay my progression, and being in a certain area probably was delaying my progression. Being staying in my home state might have been delaying my progression, and I don't look at it like that because I still had the same amenities and things, but people are jealous. People want to blame me for not having success or blame me for not having the work ethic that I have. I don't have. It's not hard for me to if I look around, when I look around my grandparents, my mother, my father, the work ethic was always there. It's all about people being jealous of them though. So it's the same kind of energy for me. So that's all it was. And and coming over here, I unlifted a big old gigantic band-aid of haters that gotta hide, and they can't go nowhere because this is the main circle of doors and keys opening, when it comes to the United States of America. These people are on broad day TV, not even supposed to be speaking and talking. They supposed to be underground, it's kind of comical just for them to be even think they supposed to talk right now. They need to pass the torch. They need to move out the way. They need to lead the country. But that's not the way they think. They have a slave mentality type of mindset. So their arrogancy outweighs, and it's probably cursed their family for the rest of their life for generations. And I'm speaking from a standpoint of, I know my family, they won't want my family be in that position, but unfortunately we ain't go that route y'all did. So it's not gonna matter what y'all say about, any kind of slander. I'm already here handling business, and I haven't even gone federal. Like this is what I'm finna focus on today. That's going right into the main thing today. And we're gonna break down the executive orders that was written in these 20 days this month. And like I said, people still want to put in their say so of rules and regulations, and they don't need to put in no say so right now. They don't even need to write no executive orders right now. and we're gonna break down. I'm gonna just put it like this. I'm not gonna stay on too long today. I want to kind of enjoy my Friday. I think I put in a lot of effort. I actually went to the building today. I seen the same people every day. They're gonna see me every day. I'm not the ugly guy, so they're gonna be like that the ladies gonna be like, that handsome young man was here today, and the people that's working hard, the fellas, they're gonna be like, coach was here today, and they gonna already know through the grapevine who I'm already is once you know what type of people I deal with in my home state. So all that stuff gonna go hand in hand. So my face card is gonna be good where I handle my business at when it comes to me getting my information, when it comes to me breaking down these new acts and laws and whatever they're trying to create and whatever stupid stuff they're crying about. Because I would give it some attention, but it ain't worth giving it attention that they crying about, because the voter registration system is flawed, because the frauds are the people that are already not alive, and they keeping people alive, and they letting people that are fraud, they felons, and some of the most heinous crimes they have gotten away with, they have not been indicted on, and it's coming from the Caucasian European side. They're hiding from that fact. They allow their child and grandchildren to vote for them, and they're not even supposed to be doing these type of things. Now, when they get mad when the other side does the same thing as them, but we have not indulged nearly as much as them. And this speaking on just a correction that needs to be done overall. So I'm going in here. I'm not one of them people that I'm finna go in here and be like, hey, that's I voted. I waited. When Obama got voted in, I talk about this all the time. The first time he got voted, I couldn't vote. I was not of age. I turned 18 in 2009, and it was after I graduated high school. So and he got into office in 2008. So hey, if I wanted to figure out a way, I would ask my dad, ask my grandpa, find the old slip of my great grandpa. I got the same name as these people. You know what I'm saying? So I could have went that way and put my vote in, but these people don't want me to talk. I'm using myself as example. I'm not using nobody as example. I'm talking about people crying about stuff that we have been hip to, and we not stop with the crying, stop with the oh my God, I didn't get my way. But it's not going to be your way. You've been having your way for over 200-300 years. Your way was failed. You're in war still. You're in 2026. We don't even have the upper hand in intelligence for you to be at war. They putting it in the movies and all. So what is the problem? Now let's continue. I don't want to sound negative today. It's Friday. Look, when I say I'm not taking days off, I ain't at the golf course. I ain't wasting my time with bull crap. You know what I'm saying? I'm here doing my job, my assignment at the time, which is my podcast. It's the number one thing. This is how I relay messages. Now we're gonna break down the executive orders. I'm gonna try to read. I'm gonna try to break down 2. I'm gonna try to read all 6 of them. How about that? Okay, now this is right up my alleyway. This is something I have, it's gonna be something I did before I came here. I'm gonna talk about. So, I'm gonna talk about it right after I read this executive order. Combating fraud, and this is so funny to me because these people try to get out in front, but they're so fast to try to get out in front of something that they're gonna have so much backlash on owing people, stealing from people, all this demonic stuff that they do to make people of greatness delayed, or even sometimes they don't even get the opportunity to be who they supposed to be because they already did all these schemes and crimes, and they want to be the ones to say that they didn't do it. So we're going to read this stuff. All right, so combating fraud and predatory school schemes against the American citizens. Okay, let's read it out. Purpose and policy for this executive order. This is a touch screen, so we're gonna hold this up. Not bad, y'all. I'm doing a little double work today, camera and right, but it's no problem. I'm okay with it. Purpose and policy of it: crime, fraud, and predatory schemes are draining American families and their life savings, stealing the benefit. This sounds so familiar. This is the stuff that people had to try to basically during their work and before. This sounds so right up the alleyway of what they need to help. So, stealing the benefits of years of work and destroying the lives of the youth. See, this sounds like somebody want to be, they could email me These activities, which include deploying ransom and malware phishing, financial fraud, sextortation, the extortion schemes and impersonation, and more, and often coordinated campaigns carried out by transnational criminal organization (TCOs) aimed to the most vulnerable amongst us. Now, one thing I could say is it's all about how you come. When you ever have you ever played a sports or any kind of competitive nature type of atmosphere or whatever it may be? When you go, it's offense and defensive side. So people might think the best way to beat someone when you're outnumbered, which is what he not putting in here or in his wording. He likes to try to boast because you're coming from a point of the executive. You're coming from a point of the what is this stuff? The Constitution and the Declaration of Independence was signed by your grandfather, your people. You know what I'm saying? And you don't cut everybody off. You don't kill all the people beforehand. But this is your last stand of defense right now. You're sounding real. You want to jump on the other side right now. So let's continue to read it though. So. In many cases, foreign regions and private willing and tactic states support cybercrime and predatory schemes, creating a shadow economy fueled by stolen identities, coercion, forced labor, and human trafficking. Now, okay, we're going to get down to be don't let it look. You put this in the executive order, not nobody else. So when you get backlash on your old habits and bad habits and stuff you still trying to practice behind the door, don't get mad. Or your sons and grandchildren and whoever else trying to follow behind you on stupid. And I'm not even talking about even the person that's in order. It's like your cabinet. It's the people you have around you already. You know what I'm saying? It's not really intelligent to do when I don't know how to explain it. I don't, it's just like some of this stuff you shouldn't even be trying to correct it. Not even at this time. It's like tell your great grandson to correct this. You know what I'm saying? Figure out how to work with it. Don't try to be out in front of something that you can't even cover. You got 3 million pages right now with your face everywhere, with your friends' face, the people you're on pictures with, hanging out, buddy. Like that shit crazy. So let's continue. Let's end it up. The policy of the United States protect Americans from hardening our financial digital system. These threats, United States shall counterattack Americans with the commensurate response, and that include law enforcement, diplomacy, and political offensive action. It is further the policy of the United States to provide support to victims of these crimes, expand public alerts, prioritize protection for those at risk, and the end exploitation of victimization of Americans. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, we're gonna let it be. And I ain't even trying to say, most people don't know how I'm more on the joking side. That's me, like just like common sense type of stuff. And I'm not trying to put the authority of your great grandson. I'm not giving you that kind of work. I'm just giving you an example of what should be your last resort. You know what I'm saying? That should be the end of the day, doomsday type of situation that you need to be preparing for, because you fried. You is clearly fried. You got so much stuff on your table that you have not handled and took responsibility for. You are just signing executive orders sounding like you're like the main guy that's in front of the good side. You know what I'm trying to say? So, it's not, it's, that one of the things that we are educated about is y'all trying to flip the story on that. Your story is not my story. So you trying to say I'm like the story that we've been fighting for since the slavery times, and y'all call it slavery times. Y'all don't talk about how many natives y'all killed off, Africans y'all killed off. But we talking about flipping that story to making it sound like y'all wrote this murder first, whether it was in different tongue, whether it was in a native tongue, whether it was in English. Y'all wasn't on this before. Y'all was on taxing, enslavement, and all this other stuff tactics y'all been doing. So we gotta make sure y'all get this stuff right. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making sure y'all understand that. So let's continue. That's exactly, this is not a bad executive order, but you have to remember how many other executive orders you have not executed. You have to remember all the stuff you've done. So let's continue. Sorry, I was a long-winded right there. I'm trying to, break your stuff down the best way. I like this one. Establish the task force to eliminate fraud. Hey, sign me up. Hey, I want to be. I don't want to be on. I don't want to be on the computer front. I want to be on the front line. I want to knock on people's doors. I want to go ahead and send them a slip in the mail. You know, you go ahead, use your G class before U.S. Army ICE people to go knock on these people's doors for eliminate fraud. You ain't got to do too much. You know, you can just knock on the door real hard, type of situation. Let them know it's not right. I just like this is gonna be my last executive where I break down. I'm gonna read the other ones. I'm not gonna read the purpose and policy of them. So let's read it out. American taxpayers fund a vast benefit system of citizens in need that include housing, food, medical care, cash assistance, and more. States administers these federally funded programs, and some states have embraced loopholes to avoid individual eligibility validation and all self-certification and eligibility and expanded eligibility far beyond the Congress intend. Worse, despite accepting federal funds, some states have refused to institute basic fraud controls such as providing enrollee information in federal government that would allow it to verify eligibility. As a result of illegal aliens, criminals, foreign gangs, bureaucrats, states and local officials, non-governmental organizations, ineligible providers exploit these programs, which are intended to provide a safety net to lawfully eligible Americans with ease. The exploitation and lack of controls to prevent it have resulted in widespread of fraud, waste, and abuse at the expense of American taxpayers who pay for utilize these programs, contributing to substantially to national debt. Self-dealing political actors use such public benefits programs to solidify control over their communities in our political system due to lax of immigration policy and immigration fraud. Certain public officials admit to our country and provide sanctuaries from federal immigration laws and migrant populations who are likely to rely on mints tested and public assistance programs welfare increase the political support and power of public officials providing benefits. These increase such incentives public officials to maximize the flow and welfare of these communities make public officials who do so more powerful. Many of these public officials then fail the police and programs in some of these cases willfully turn blind eye to fraud, waste, abuse with them to ensure welfare flows to these migrants. Due to insufficient election integrity measures, such migrants are not eligible to vote. So anyway, with the same public officials permitting widespread ballot harvesting schemes and compromise our election integrity and help these public officials to remain in power. The staggering fraud and waste Minnesota alone. Okay, let me stop right there. I'm gonna read the rest. It sounds like someone complaining. Yeah. So when you start complaining, that I cut it off because I complain on my podcast. It's my podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal. It's a big deal because it's too long. I'm in my 30s and y'all still trying to hate on me for real. Like, that is the weirdest situation. And the people that are hating are not as intelligent as me. So 100 of y'all versus one of me, you still don't amount to me because your intelligence is borrowed. You are literally trying to come into my mind all kind of horrific technology ways and schemes and ways and fraud, and y'all going out here trying to promote this type of bill. But I'm not mad at you. This means that y'all don't have the upper hand. So I'm going to let it be what it is. Now, what I will tell you, those that have done what they done, you have to let it go. You got to let them people live their life. You cannot attack people that are already mentally more, let's say, mentally equipped to beat you in mental games and money manipulation, whatever you say. You're never been the upper hand for intelligence. Your playbook is already out there. You know what I'm saying? So you need to let it go. So we okay. I was just talking about letting stacking everything up. This group this group of acts and theories and themes and laws that you want to be in the same group. Group them up, all those little made up stuff did, put them all in groups. And then when you start putting in the main thing, bing, 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 call it one thing, boom, and then move on. So we won't have so many loopholes this way and that way and frauds this way and that way. It is what it is, and it ain't what it ain't type of situation. That's what need to be coming to too many people for y'all to have that many loopholes, and that's what y'all problem is. Y'all want to shield and steal a whole different way. I ain't even finna read the rest of this because I ain't got time. I gotta move on. Now, y'all heard what I said, because I don't really crisscross talk, but you might feel like I just did. Because I ain't on the y'all might think the side I'm on is gonna be the winning side. And that side is y'all don't even know what side I'm gonna come at you, So I could just let you know how it's gonna be at the end. This is nowhere near the end for me. So, I speak life. I don't speak down, I don't speak death, I don't speak hate. That's just what it is. You might feel that way because you went against me first, but that's not my problem. So hey, let's move on. Now I'm going to read the title. I might come back to this next week of the other acts and whatever they trying to call in these executive orders that they doing. Let's read them out. Adjusting certain delegations under Defense Protection Act. That was signed 3/18. Removing regulatory barriers in affordable home constructions. That was signed 3/18 as well. Ensuring truthful advertising and products claiming to be made in America. Now this is one of the scheme 101 that America like to do. They like to state claim the stuff that they did not create, that they did not invent. They did doing this since mankind. So the fact that they doing the executive orders, these people feel threatened. But the people that they trusted, I could tell you, I already been speaking on it. The people that they trusted and thought they could manipulate and get over on, they was already prepared, because the same played over and over does not work once you prepare. So y'all need to move out the way. We could work with these people. Y'all can't. Y'all wanted to kill, steal, and deal before y'all wanted to work together with every last country out there. That's why y'all the bottom total pole with a whole bunch of resources that was stolen. They put it in the movies. They put it in all kind of books. That is what it is. The facts is the facts. So that's what I got from that executive order. I don't know what to tell y'all. Y'all really don't want to pass the rod to the right people. Y'all really don't want to put the people in position that y'all came onto this land, really in the North America lands, in the United States, the half of it. Y'all don't want to put it back into them with grace, or put it into the people with the real intellectual or the real abilities to actually work and trade and do things the correct way, how it was supposed to formulate into. Y'all don't want to do it, but hopefully y'all grow a brain without stealing, and y'all can find it in your heart to do the right thing. So let's continue. This is the last one. This is the last one. Promoting access to mortgage credit. Promoting access to mortgage credit. Ain't that something? In 2026, y'all finally wrote an executive order for everybody to try to win. Ain't that something to get some money, huh? Hopefully y'all have access for all races and not just the Caucasian side. Hopefully we get to that point. You know what I'm saying? Y'all finally trying. I guess it sounds like it. I ain't even gonna read it. I'm gonna read that tomorrow or Monday or something. I'm gonna read it Monday or probably. So that was funny. That was a good effort. That's nice. Hey, but look, we're gonna move on. I got stuff to say, man. You know it is what it is. Okay, so on my way here, I'm in Washington D.C. right now. I love saying that because it's so funny how these people were not prepared for me. They was not even prepared. They was not. I'm so shocked. I gave them so long. I literally gave them about 15 years. I could have came right after high school. I'm not lying. I could have dominated after high school, and it would have probably been a little bit more of a lightning bolt, thunderbolt, all kind of stuff. I could have been hanging out with all type of people. It would have been way kind of. It would have been like on some. It would have been overload of. It would have been. You know what they call it, clout, popularity. It would have been a little bit worse. I had a lot of people. I still was communicating with at the time, but I did not know that they were so unprepared. I could only imagine. Then we had a black president at the time. I did not know. I'm still laughing about how unprepared they is. All they can do is lie and do shadow games. I don't know what to tell them. Um, that's what comes down to what happened today when I was walking to the library from the senator offices that I be at every day now. When I was walking, I seen the tax collector. This is basically like I sent my taxes to y'all. They didn't even look. I came in there. They was like, we can't do anything. We don't know what a package that I sent you. Pull it up out somewhere. They didn't even want to get. The only thing they read, the only people that got some sense right now is the security guards. He read my ID. He let me back there, and they let me go get some information. That's all they get. I told them I don't want to talk to no more computers and robots on the phone. This is what I told this man. So I'm letting them know, give me all the numbers, all the people that I need to see. It's about four more people they needed me to talk to in Washington, D.C. before I go federally and sue the state of Florida for my 3 or 4 income tax they didn't give me. I lost contract, I lost track how many they ain't send me yet. So the Friday, y'all need to get prepared to pay me my $3,000 or $4,000 that you owe me. It ain't even a lot of money. It's just that you want my name and notoriety for the greatness that I've already accomplished. That's the stupid stuff that you're doing, and it's so far into like a fraud. It's all in the police. They'll slam me on my face. Y'all know I talked about all this stuff already, but I'm not trying to sue you. I'm not trying to take people out their position. I'm trying to tell you to give my money so I could do my trademark. I could start my brand. I could continue working on my brand, and I could continue to slot these non-politicians that want to be politicians, that are politicians, but they don't know what to do with the political power that they have. They just there's bots and robots standing in front of me that's in my way. And I hate to dish you, but I'm sorry if I dish you. So pretty much this how it's gonna go, man. um I having a good. It's Friday. I can have a little fun. It's stuff that I speak on. This is stuff that is already naturally in my mind. So when I go to sleep, any kind of spiritual attack, any kind of weirdos that want to jump in and hate on me and my child and my mother and grandmother, and you can name the list of people and relatives that you've been hating on. It's your day of reckoning is already here. It's coming or it's gonna happen or whatnot. It's just gonna be you could be gracefully bow out. You could gracefully apologize. You could gracefully email me so you won't look stupid at the end. So I'm still available on the lower level right now. But when I get to the tippy top, which is very far away, which I don't mind climbing, and I'm not far away because I'm in the same vicinity as y'all. So obviously something ain't hit for you. Your lives didn't stack up because you can't come out no more. Your lives come out, you're gonna be under a rock somewhere. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't have nothing to hide from. So I look at it like that. So man, it's gonna be big, man. It's gonna still be work. We still putting in effort. We still not taking those days off. We'll take Saturdays, Sundays. None of them days get taken off. The fact that I'm not in the state of Florida, it's not gonna be nice. How I'm gonna be nice to you? You get what I'm saying? This is nicely having fun with you. I didn't come up here flashy or nothing. I came here with, how it's when they drop these resources, these proper resources, how it's gonna get. So, let's continue. Off is that was just a funny note I left myself. Yeah, I went there. They gave me the information. We're gonna give them. You're gonna give them till I could have went right there. It's Friday, but I'm gonna let y'all have y'all Fridays. I'm gonna let you try to prepare. But Monday morning, it's gonna be a very powerful day. We're gonna drop Elite State of the Union tomorrow. It's tomorrow or Sunday. We don't really got to do. We're not gonna do it. So I got busy stuff to do on Saturday. I'm gonna enjoy my Saturday out and about. Sunday we're gonna drop the Elite State of the Union. And all whatever I feel on the mind that's powerful that I look up, I might go into depth about what's the issue right now. We might still continue the state of pedophilia, the state of weirdos still showing face, any kind of thing I want to talk about on Sunday was in my State of the Union. It's gonna be powerful, it's gonna be big, so you know how that goes. And yeah, now let's continue. Community outreach. Let's go right into that. I haven't been too much on that. But today when I went, okay, this is how I look at it for community outreach. I want people to understand that, when you say you gonna handle something and you say you think you're a mover and not a shaker and one of these fast talking people, I expect it to happen right away. So I'm gonna mention that and I'm gonna leave it at that. I told y'all yesterday I expect something to happen sooner than later because this is what they said out their mouth. I'm one of them people. I'm already prepared. So I'm not a hater. I don't even know the person that well, but he said when he heard me speak, he sounded like he was sold. He sounded like he was gonna give me a real opportunity soon. And I don't know who his person is. I know how my people move. I know if they came and asked me who besides me, who you think I should, which they haven't done in a long time, which I'm already moved on in the Senate right to the next same level as them, which they already understood. It's more on a friendly competition, which they helped me that much to get in the door, which I don't, these are all people that are still powerful and still in their position. So I look at it like I'm already moved on and I'm already in another state. I don't mind helping for look, I don't want to be for free, but when you go to a different state, you have to put your seeds in the correct way. You gotta, one thing I learned about putting soil, you gotta make sure you uproot your soil. You take the weeds out your soil, you water your soil, you put the right nutrients in, then you put your seeds in. So this is the steps that I'm gonna take in anywhere I step in, especially when I'm in the capital of Washington, D.C. I ain't cutting no corners around here. So that's what I'm at with it. Hopefully a breakthrough happens. Hopefully I get some good information when I go back. Everybody should be there. I want to actually, not fast track. I want to actually just have a communication every day. Tell me, you know, like that type of work I put in, I'm gonna put it in every day. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like people might be like, yeah, I'm gonna do it, but they might be trying to be on these fraud tips that everybody else was on. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to snake me, but you can't do that. Who whatever animal likes snakes, that's what that or eat snakes. That's what type of person I will do to you. And when people try to snake me, and it don't have to be right away. It's just gonna be how you see it. It don't even have to be me. It could be somebody observing that you don't never know. And you try to snake my observer, that observer is got a bigger person than you, and then it's gonna be all. Then you're gonna commit treason against your own people. Then you're gonna be out here looking goofy every time, and then you still in the same stuck ass rut. So we gotta figure that out, and then you probably helping the other side looking goofier by the day. So that's how the situations be a lot of the times. So we gonna end it on that, man. That's community. Hopefully everybody's still on base. Shout out to my elite youth association member, my elite association members. I appreciate y'all. And it's still what it is. It's never gonna change. It's never gonna be. It's gonna never fold. And I know what type of situation that I signed up for. From the jump, the stuff that I already put groundwork in. It was already accomplished when I signed. You get what I'm trying to say? When I made it official into the state, it was already there. It was nothing to be done. It was just continue to be a great coach, continue to be a great mentor, continue to be a great father. What else do you need? Everything. And if you need any assistance and I can help, then it's gonna be what it's gonna be. That's what Elite Youth Association was, and it still is. We ain't slowing down. We still at the top, and you could check the stats. It's still there. I see enough. I seen what it is. Okay. Moving on, sports. Let's have a little fun with it now. And I'm probably gonna go over a little bit at 12, but it's okay. I'm gonna get up out of here. Hopefully, I still make lunch. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be chill. If I make it, I don't. I don't. I do. I do. I go to the union to get some food or something, but I don't want to. I want to eat. I want to eat what I've been eating every day. But yeah, Michigan won. They beat Howard, which is a Washington D.C. college and the team. Shout out. They handled their business. I think they beat them by 20 plus points. It was when I left with 5 minutes left. It was at 30, but I think it was close to 20 something points. Michigan is the number one seed, and it's good over there. I'm not a hater of where what it is. Yeah, I mention these people because it's some kind of way. I'm gonna have to mention them. Now Duke, y'all know back in the days when I was younger, if you know me, I was a Duke fan. I like the way, I don't like the coach that's that Duke. I don't like the way people get positions and they're not that good. And it shows right there. All those players look like they average basketball players, every last one. They play good okay defense, but I didn't like the fact that they got all them calls to get back into the game. Then that took away a lot of the momentum and the confidence of the other team that was the 16th seed. And I'm always gonna root for the under. I don't have no dollar into any of those teams. It was just me being a fan of basketball when I was younger. So Duke won. I'm okay with that. I'm proud. I'm inspired by winning. So they won so much when I was younger, and when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, and me going into full grown adult. They got this new coach. People get put on a pedestal as when people think that that's because of your tradition. You don't have you I don't like when people not on the level of what it once was. It's no in between. I like the bottom underdog or the type of the greatest of the greatest. I can help either one. I ain't in no middle type of person. So that team that they was competing against was never. They didn't have a chance. They probably was underdog by 20 plus points or some stupid number. And it wasn't like that. I think the guards didn't make enough 3-pointers, but that wasn't the case. It was not getting the calls in the low post area. They had better big men. I didn't like the way the game ended. They didn't even lose by more than 10 points. They lost by 6 points. So them free throws and them bad calls on the other side, it was at least a plus 10 to 12 points that you took away from that 16 seed that I didn't like. I did not respect that. I don't respect that win. I don't respect the coaching. I don't respect how the referees did them boys. And that's just how I look at it. Because a lot of them probably were seniors and juniors. And I just how I look at the game now. It's always one of them weirdo junk. And you see how Ohio State lost. Haha. And that's just a little nugget. But look, I'm gonna leave it at that. I think it's some movies coming out tonight. A movie coming out tonight. I didn't look at it. I was gonna look at it, but I don't want to put too much time in. I want to end my show. Matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up. What's the movies? What's the movie times tonight? What's coming out? What's coming out today? Scream 7, The Will. Nah, we're gonna read that out loud. I watched the GOAT already. Teenage Mutant Ninja. What movie is this? Watch. I'm here. The Project Hail Mary. What that's about? Hoopers. Reminders of him. What Hoopers? What Project Hail Mary about, y'all? It looks interesting. Science teacher Ryland Grace wakes up to a spaceship with no recollection of who he is or how he got there. His memory will slowly return and soon discover he must solve the riddle behind the mysterious substance causing the sun to die. And that come out tonight. This is a new release tonight. But he may not have it to do it alone. He may not have to do it alone. So yeah, that's the movie out of today, And Hoopers is for the children. It came out last week, I think. So yeah, it's two movies that Hoopers about a little squirrel, I think. But that's just my update. I ain't gonna go see nothing. If I do see a movie, it'll be early morning so I can catch that matinee deal and go to one of these low key spots over here in Maryland somewhere. If I find something, it'll be some chill stuff situation. I like to go to the movie Dolo unless I go with one of the, my daughter or my niece and nephews. And, it's been a while since they all grouped up and hang out like I wanted it to. But we ain't tripping. I know they enjoy their time. And shout out to my daughter, shout out to my nephew, my niece, and my family. I appreciate y'all. The work that I'm doing is not for it's not fun and games. It's just to make sure I'm established in the correct way in my goals. So shout out to my family. I appreciate y'all and anybody associated with me that's really support me. And that's how I look at things. And that's gonna be the end of my show. I'm gonna end it. I don't really everything is facts and notes and this and that's how I'm gonna look at it today. Uh, and it's March Madness. I'm sorry, I was running on some game, and the NFL draft is next month, coming up in a month and 7 days. I'm really big on the draft, so I'm gonna start breaking that down too. I forgot to add that in sports, but y'all know my breakdowns be so accurate. The crazy stuff, the players, there was a lot of O line and D line. Some of the worst O line grades I gave, they was in the Super Bowl, and he got embarrassed. And then the O line that got picked at the end of the first round, in the beginning of the second round, they ended up excelling, but they had injuries, and people were jealous of them or whatever story they made up so somebody's son could get picked first. He got embarrassed right on in front of everybody. So everything works out. And y'all know how I do O line, D line. I don't really miss on the breakdown of those type of players because that's what I specialize in when I coach. And then I'm so good at defense of scouting, and I'm not want to hype nobody, no defensive backup except the person that I want to be successful and have a Hall of Fame NFL career this year. Sorry that I'm being biased. We let y'all know up front how I feel. Yeah, and I probably mentioned him before, but it's okay. When we get there, I'm pretty sure he's done well. It tested well. If he did the combine, definitely probably tested well his pro day. I didn't look into it yet because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, and I know he's doing what he's supposed to do. So we're gonna look into all the skill. I'm being funny. I'm gonna get everybody a real grade, but I'm not gonna rank you as high as him. But how I go. I'm from Florida. I gotta give my guys their chance, and he a real member. So whether he want to be, I feel like he knows how it goes. And yeah, that's it for today. This is Dynasty the Podcast Show. I'm your host, Ira Thomas IV. I appreciate y'all, and y'all stay tuned, man. The State of the Union shows this week is coming on Sunday, so it's gonna be big, and y'all be ready. So